really hope you did not think that I would do this vlogmas and not throw in a makeup look, a makeup tutorial in it. I hope you did not think that, because that is what we're doing in today's look. As you can tell from the title of the video, we are recreating Marsai Martin's look. Like, I saw that look trending and I was like, I have to recreate this. And I thought instead of Instagram, I would do it here on YouTube. So let's go. Okay, ignore my wall. I know you hadn't even noticed, but just ignore it, okay? So before we get started, I'm just gonna put the look over here that I am trying to recreate. It's so beautiful, it's so sleek, it's so, you know, it's giving everything that it needs to give, okay? So the first thing that I'm gonna start with is my eyebrows as usual. Nowadays I do my eyebrows a little bit differently from the last time. The only thing that I've incorporated is using soap rose. The brand that I'm using is the one from Eman, and it basically just looks like this. Wow. Oh, it basically just looks like this. So it's soap, and then you always want to make sure you spritz a little bit of water, and then I'm gonna go in with my spoolie. But before then, let me just trim off the excess, because I can see over here and over here I have a little bit of excess. So if you do want a detailed video on how to trim your eyebrows, I do have 2 of them on my channel on how to do eyebrows. And then going in with a razor, I'm just gonna trim off the excess. By the way, I always tell my students, if you are not really familiar with shaving your eyebrows, just make sure the first few times, or actually every single time, that you do it really slowly, just so you don't nick yourself. And I'm also going to do the top part and then the other side as well. Obviously, when you use a method like tweezing or threading, it does give, in my opinion, a much cleaner job, and also it lasts for longer. I'm just really not a fan of the pain. I feel like it's good because it lasts longer, but that pain is usually quite unnecessary for me. So I've just trimmed off the excess, and then I'm gonna go in with my soap and a clean spoolie. Always make sure you saturate your spoolie nicely with the product like that, and then you want to make sure you don't spritz too much water into your soap or your soap rose, just so it has a more thick as opposed to a more runny consistency. So this is the consistency that it looks like, and then I'm just going to comb through and add that product onto my eyebrows. There is a look that I did with this specific technique. I'm gonna put it over here, the one that I had showed you guys with like the flowers all over my hair. It turned out so beautiful, and if you notice, I didn't clean the top part. So especially if you are not a fan of cleaning the top part of your eyebrow, then you have to make sure that your eyebrow, like, you've done a really neat job, just so you don't have to, because if your lines are not so smooth on the top part, then you would definitely need to go in and clean. So I'm just combing them upwards and outwards. Obviously, because my eyebrows are a little bit sparse, I don't need to do too much, but if you do have thicker eyebrows, then I do recommend just going in with 2 or 3 layers depending on how thick your eyebrows are, and just making sure that they are nicely saturated. So what I like to do, I like to go up and out. So what I mean by that is up and out like this. And then, guys, one thing that I remember that came as a shocker to me, and I don't know why it came as a shocker to me, is that when you finish cleaning, for me personally, I don't clean my skin afterwards, just because I make sure that the soap is really within the eyebrows. But if the soap goes out of your eyebrows, please go in and clean that up, because when you go in with your concealer, some concealers or some cream products will show that underneath there's something that dried down. So if you go outside, then make sure you go back in and just wipe with a wet wipe before going in with your concealer and any other cream product. The next thing I like to go in with is my pencil, but lately I have noticed that I really love going in with powder, like literal eyeshadow, just as my eyebrow product. It looks so beautiful. I'm going to insert a picture over here where I used only eyeshadow. The eyeshadow palette that I like to use, this one, it's the Fabulosity palette by Nzilani Kimani, and these are the shades that I like using, like this one and this one. Oh gosh, they look so beautiful. It's only that my black it ilipasuka, but otherwise it broke. Otherwise like if you get a nice pigmented brown, you can use that, but always make sure you go in with a brush that looks almost like this. I like to use something that looks like this, angled and still a bit fluffy, so I can be able to apply the product. Anyway, so I like to go in with a pencil like this and then just follow in the same strokes as the way my natural eyebrow hairs are going. And then I'm not going to fill in this part because, as you can see over here, I'm very blessed with eyebrows over here. So the part that I'm filling in is this tail end, and then I'm just going in with light strokes, and I always like to make sure that my pencil is sharp. Draw, you know, like the way the normal way we do the outline is like the outline on the top, outline at the bottom, and then like fill in. So for me, I outline at the bottom and then I fill in, but I don't outline at the top. I don't know if that makes sense, unless I have maybe a client who has like very sparse hairs at the top. But usually if you have a full set on the top, you don't need to outline, but that's what I like to do as opposed to just filling in that shape. So I start from somewhere here and then just draw the lower outline like this. And as always use your hand, I mean your finger and your cheek as the anchor point, because that will prevent you from getting like very shaky lines. This will give you like the neatest, straightest lines possible. And especially if you have shaky hands. My last student would tell me like my hands are so shaky, I don't know if I'll be able to do it, but I just told her use your cheek as the anchor point. And this is not only in eyebrows, this is in eyeshadow, this is in your application of concealer. If you just feel like you're shaky, just use your cheek as the anchor point and it will give you more support. So I'm just using that and then drawing till the end. If you do get confused about where your eyebrow is supposed to start, where it's supposed to arch and where it's supposed to end, I did do a detailed video on that on both of my videos on how to do your eyebrows for beginners. So I'm just outlining that to the bottom part, and then now I start filling in. Okay, so I've done with the outline and the filling in. Guys, always remember to go back in with your spoolie. I went in with the same spoolie and just comb through, but make sure you use a very light motion. So what you want to do is just that. And what I'm doing right now is distributing the product around and doing it in a very light way so that I don't move the product around too much. So that's how our eyebrows are looking before we come in with our concealer. And this is the brush that we're using for concealer. This one is the Merac Cosmetics flat definer brush. I really love it because it's not only flat at the top, but it's also like very thin. Brushes for concealer I love when they don't have like too many bristles. You see something like this, it has like the bristles that are a bit thick, but you can also go in with your clear eyelash glue or clear pigment glue and flatten it out. I did also explain to you guys how I did that on my 2 videos, so make sure to check that out if you're wondering. I'm going in with the foundation that I'm using. These are the 2 that I'm using. This is the Nedgewald foundation in the shade Mahogany mixed with Golden. And I'm gonna do that at the beginning point and at the end, and then in the middle I'll go in with this. Let me tell you something, this concealer is so underrated. I had bought it from Jumia and I was like, and it took so long to use it because I do have normal skin, and it is it's a super stay, so it's a full coverage mattifying concealer. And I usually tend to shy away from mattifying concealers because I feel like in some instances they're a bit hard to work with, but oh, this one to just define my eyebrow, you guys will see. Let me stop ranting. You guys will see how beautiful it is. I'm actually almost out and I don't know where I can get like other shades because I have to. I'm gonna go in with my Ben Nye Clown White just to prep my eyes, and with this product you need very little of it. Okay, my eyeshadow base is already prepped. I'm going in now with this peachy but nudie color. This one is the Divas Cosmetics eyeshadow palette, and I'm using a fluffy brush to apply it. So just going in and making sure I do not have any creases before I go in to set it. Okay, I did tone it down just a little bit, and then now I'm going in with the black with an angled brush and just forming the outline. So I decided to go in with the tape. It makes my eyes look so odd, but anyway, I used the black eyeshadow for the outline, and also here I initially wanted to use a black pencil, but that specific one usually leaves a lot of residue, so I decided to just go in with black eyeshadow. So let us see the moment of truth. Oh, beautiful, just beautiful. Look at that, you guys. Whoosh, whoosh. Eyes are done, face is prepped. I'm going in with my Florrie Roberts water-based primer, and then going in with my foundation. The look that she did was very matte, so I really want to go in with mattifying products but also still maintain that glow.